Let's go straight to the top story this evening. Shaktikanta has taken charge as the 25th Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Addressing the media for the very first time in his new role, the former bureaucrat has vowed to uphold the core values and the autonomy of India's central bank. He also talked about key issues that he intends to focus on. Let's take a look at the top highlights from his interaction. Shaktikanta said that he will hold consultations with various stakeholders, including the government. He's going to kickstart the process by meeting public sector banks on Thursday. He also confirmed that the RBI will hold its central board meeting as per plan on the 14th of December. He's called for free, frank and fair discussions with the government on contentious issues. He went on to say that the government is not only a stakeholder but also the manager of the economy. But sum and substance, much more consultative approach as far as the RBI is concerned. And while the Reserve Bank of India values its autonomy and its independence, it also must adhere to the principles of accountability. Those were his words.
I will do everything that is possible. I'll try and uphold the professionalism, the core values, the credibility and the autonomy of the Reserve Bank. The inflation targeting continues to be very important, and it's very heartening to note that the inflation broadly it is as per the targets, and the inflation outlook also looks fairly benign at this stage, but we have to be very watchful of the developments. So therefore, we will continue to focus on these areas. And you may be aware that the Central Board meeting is scheduled to be held on the 14th of December. So we will hold the Central Board meeting as planned and go through the agenda and discuss the various issues that are listed. Government is not just a stakeholder, but the government of the day runs the economy, runs the country and manages major policy decisions. So there has to be free, fair, objective and very frank discussion between the government and the Reserve Bank of India.
Well, that's a new RBI governor saying that autonomy and independence go hand in hand with accountability. Latha was at that press conference with the RBI governor as he spoke to the press. She joins us now. Latha, what do you make of the comments that have come in? No announcements were expected. He's barely been in office for a few hours. But in terms of the manner in which he addressed some of the concerns that have been raised about the RBI and its friction with the government, what do you make of the comments that have come in?
Well, one of the first comments was that the RBI also has growth responsibilities, and he went on to say that I'm only reading what is part of the act, lest he be termed dovish. Nevertheless, the market has gone ahead and termed him dovish because he did say that inflation is benign and inflation outlook is benign. The reading of the market of these words is that he would definitely have been briefed by the staff. And therefore, this is an RBI outlook. Since we already have Mr. Dholakia, who has been arguing for a neutral stance, this statement of the governor has kind of given the feeling that the MPC could look at shifting to neutral as early as February. And of course, the inflation numbers that came in almost confirm that there is a factual basis for that. The second takeaway from the governor was when he was asked about board governance becoming very important, or RBI's accountability to the board becoming very important, he said that he respects the independence and the credibility of RBI, but even a big institution has to be accountable. So looks like on the 14th, it will be the law of the land that RBI will be held accountable by the board a little more than has hitherto been the case. Hitherto, boards have been advisory sounding boards, not people who told the RBI to do this, that or the other. They only advised. But it looks like you're going to have an upper hand for the board. And the governor seemed to indicate that, yes, RBI will have to be accountable. For me, that was a very big takeaway. And third, of course, that he's starting a consultation process. You could read in that a charge that the previous regime was not all that consultative. But let's not look for holes. He's going to start his consultation with the PSU banks And on December 14th, the item on the agenda is that the prompt corrective action should be loosened. Put two and two together, the market would expect that some loosening of those rules will be there. And he's going to meet them tomorrow, and the meeting is day after. So, it's very tempting to believe that a loosening of the prompt corrective action, or at least pulling out some of the banks from that list, is a likely decision on December 14th. These are the three takeaways for me.
Well, to be fair, the governor did say that there is no agenda for that meeting with public sector bank chiefs that he's hosting in Mumbai tomorrow. But nevertheless, that is certainly going to be a point of discussion. Well, first day, that's Shaktikanta Das in office. But on to Dalal Street, where the markets did continue their up move for the second day, posting their biggest one-day gain in 5 weeks. The Nifty saw a gap up open and remained in a strong uptrend pretty much through the day. The index closing above the 20-day moving average with gains of 190 points. The Sensex surging over 600 points. In the broader markets, Bank Nifty rallied about 480 points. Mid-caps continued to outperform today. The index ended with gains of more than 2.5%. So the markets continue to look strong today and expected to perhaps continue this momentum tomorrow as well. Double cheer for the economy. Industrial production in November has hit its highest level in 11 months and retail inflation has softened to its lowest level in 15 months. Consumer price index in November coming in at 2.3%. This is well below the CNBC TV 18 poll and largely thanks to contracting food and vegetable prices. In fact, vegetable prices have contracted by 15%, adding more pressure on the agri sector. So while that's good news on the inflation front, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good news for the economy because the rural price collapse continues to show up. The agri price collapse continues to show up. Industrial output has accelerated to cross the 8% mark for the first time in nearly a year. Strong growth in manufacturing, which contributes 77% of the IIP, led to this sharp surge. So good news coming in there, both on inflation as well as IIP. And as Lata was pointing out, the comment that came in from the RBI governor on inflation, well, the market will take that and today's print positively. The big political story after an all-night drama, the Congress party managing to edge out the BJP in the big state of Madhya Pradesh. The Election Commission declared the results at 8 this morning after a full 24 hours of counting. Sources tell CNN News 18 that Kamal Nath could be all set to becoming the next chief minister. An official announcement, though, is yet. Sources say that Scindia has proposed Kamal Nath's name at a meeting of the newly elected state legislators today. Well, Manoj Sharma joins us now from Bhopal with more. Manoj, a formal announcement of Kamal Nath as Madhya Pradesh's new chief minister, only a matter of time now?
Well, Congress Legislature Party, CLP, has passed a one-liner resolution authorizing party president Rahul Gandhi to decide chief minister for Madhya Pradesh, and in all likelihood Kamal Nath is going to become chief minister of MP because he has been heading the party unit, the PCC in MP, for last 5 months, and he was given the responsibility by Rahul Gandhi for this assembly elections, and he was the main face, and also Jyotiraj Scindia was in the fray. He was also important factor in this election. But in all likelihood, Kamal Nath is going to become chief minister of Madhya Pradesh, and he may take oath either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And you can see the scene over here in PCC. These party workers, they have come from all over the state and they are hailing their new leader Kamal Nath and Jyotiraj Scindia. And after 15 years, now Congress is in power in MP. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, he has already conceded his defeat, and Kamal Nath has already handed over name of 121 MLAs, comprising 2 BSP MLA, 1 SP MLA, and 4 independents, and those independents are all rebels of the Congress party. Now it's only question of time when Congress is going to take part in MP, and when Chief Minister Kamal Nath, in all likelihood, is going to take oath in Bhopal.
All right, Manoj, thanks very much. But from Madhya Pradesh to Rajasthan, where the suspense continues, who will be the next chief minister? The state legislators have been locked in a huddle for the entire day. The meeting has just concluded. We understand that no decision has been taken so far. A final call is likely tomorrow. Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot, both front-runners, the party legislators have empowered Congress President Rahul Gandhi to take the final decision. Both Gehlot and Pilot stuck to the script and remained tight-lipped when asked about the chief ministerial race today.
ये मैं बार बार कह चुका हूँ, ये फैसला एमएलए की राय के बाद में हाईकमान करता है। इसमें कोई डिस्कशन का मैटर है नहीं। ये कार्यकर्ता एकजुट रहा इस बार, तो इस बात की हम सबको बहुत खुशी। 3 राज्यों में जो हिंदी हार्टलैंड है, वहाँ पे एक मैसेज गया है पूरी कांग्रेस के आगे बढ़ने का।
We are always communicating with our leadership. We are very happy that all the 3 states will have a Congress government, but the final decision as to who will head all the 3 governments will be taken by the MLAs and by the Congress party. देखिए, हमारे पास पूर्ण बहुमत है, लेकिन हमने कहा कि जो भाजपा के विरोध में लोग हैं, जो भाजपा की रीति नीति के खिलाफ हैं, वो सारे दल, वो सारे व्यक्ति, उन सबको साथ लेकर चलना हमारी पहले भी ये धारणा थी, आज भी है।
Well, what we are given to understand is that perhaps we could see Congress leaders from Rajasthan head to Delhi for a decision to be taken along with party president Rahul Gandhi, perhaps later tonight or maybe tomorrow. That's the expectation. But farm loan waiver was the key subject that was discussed during and after the election results. There were reports that the government could consider an all-India farm loan waiver. Of course, these were all unconfirmed reports. Now, I spoke with the Additional Secretary of the Agricultural Ministry, Ashok Dalwai, who is responsible for putting together the Dalwai report on doubling farm income by 2022. Remember, over 300 plus recommendations of the Dalwai committee have been presented to the government. Many have been taken forward. He categorically stated that there is no proposal at this point in time from the central government to look at a national farm loan waiver. Listen in to that exchange that I had. Post the electoral setback for the BJP, a lot of speculation building up that perhaps we could see a national loan waiver being announced for farmers. Is there any consideration of that, sir?
At least I'm not aware of such a proposal. And as all of us know, Government of India has always been very clear that there shall be no waiver from the central government. And it's a matter of state subject, and if the states are interested, they can go ahead with that.
At this point in time, there is no proposal with your ministry to look at the possibility of a central loan waiver.
Yes, that's what I would like to say.
Well, that is the bureaucrat from the Ministry of Agriculture saying that they don't have any plans on a national loan waiver. No decision taken by the government. Finance ministers of Congress-led states, including of that of Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, are likely to meet before the next GST Council meeting, scheduled to be held on the 22nd of this month. Timsy Jaipuria broke that story, joins us now. Timsy, the composition of the GST Council will undergo a change with more Congress states and more Congress finance ministers coming on board. What's the expectation? Are they likely to meet ahead of the next meeting of the GST Council?
The upcoming GST Council meet is likely to see more faces representing Congress and the other parties. Sources told cnbc TV 18 that ahead of the 31st GST Council meet, which is scheduled on December 22nd, the existing and new Congress-led state FMs are likely to meet to discuss the strategy further on GST. Remember, Congress has been pitching for a single common base, subsuming all taxes capped with a maximum of 18%. Coupled together, the Council will now see 14 out of 31 members who will be representing non-BJP states, and they are likely to urge the Council to appoint a vice chairman, which is pending since the Council was created. However, when it comes to rates, government officials have told cnbc TV 18 that there's not enough scope that is left to tinker with the rates, and the only possibility is to expand the GST ambit. But Congress has been raising issues of getting a single return form instead of the convoluted GSTN that we see right now. So that is also on the agenda. Meanwhile, there are some unfinished items that are likely to come up for discussion in the upcoming Council meet, including Council calling for the committee created to understand the issues of MSMEs under the chairmanship of MOS Finance Shiv Pratap Shukla, which was announced in August but hasn't met as yet. Also, the Council is likely to take an update on the 2 committees that were created to suggest a way forward on the proposed cesses, that is the natural disaster cess and the sugar cess, which are still pending. So let's see what happens finally and what are the issues that reach the table of GST Council. We'll keep you posted on it. Back to you.
All right, Timsy. Well, we first have to wait for government formation. That's first on the agenda. The big international story, British Prime Minister Theresa May will face a no-confidence motion tonight. The motion was triggered by her own MPs unhappy with the proposed Brexit deal. Media reports suggest that May will sailed through the motion as most MPs have publicly backed her as Prime Minister, and this has fuelled a rally in the sterling. CNBC's Wilfred Frost, who's outside the UK Parliament, joins us now with more details. Wilfred, what should we expect from this no-confidence motion tonight?
UK Prime Minister Theresa May will face a vote of confidence from her own MPs later this evening. Here is the maths. 48 of her 316 MPs were needed to trigger the vote. 50% or 158 will now need to vote in order to oust her for certain. But if it's a very close defeat for Theresa May, she may still decide to resign. Now, the expectation here in Westminster, also in the betting markets, is that she will win, and sterling has rallied accordingly because of it, up over 1%. Why? Because around 150 or 160 of her MPs have come out publicly this morning to support her, i.e. enough to get her over the line. That's compared to only about 48 or perhaps a handful more that we know will vote against her, because, of course, they've triggered this vote in the first place. But we won't know for certain until a little bit later this evening. Now, even if she does win, it doesn't solve the topic of Brexit. Here is Theresa May earlier in Parliament trying to answer questions about what she secured from the European leaders yesterday, having delayed her Brexit vote.
I had discussions with a number of people yesterday, and I have made some progress, but there is further. But of course there is an EU Council meeting. There are further discussions to be held.
Totally and absolutely unacceptable to this House in any way. This House agreed a programme motion. Yes. This House agreed the 5 days of debate. This House agreed when the vote was going to take place.
So even if she gets the support of her own MPs today, of course, significant opposition MPs still angry with her and don't like her Brexit plan.
Wilfred Frost there reporting on the no-confidence motion that Theresa May faces later tonight. With that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of What's Hot. Thanks very much for watching.